Well, MIMO is basically just another avenue of improving throughput. Essentially, it's providing independent data streams on parallel paths. So in theory, if everything was ideal, you would see for a 2x2 MIMO would achieve double the capacity. You know, we did a lot of testing. Our investigation started in earnest about 2 years ago. We really wanted to understand. We wanted to understand a lot more about LTE than we did at the time. And in particular, we really wanted to understand, was MIMO going to be something that was really going to be out there? You know, we saw Verizon's release. It said everything was going to be MIMO. But what we wanted to understand was MIMO going to give what it was advertised? Because it had some distinct impacts on how we went and proceeded in product development. And so what we didn't want to do is develop a capability and build our product around a functionality that turned out to be just double the cost and not have the benefit. So you know, we've done quite a bit of testing. We're still doing more testing, but we've tested in office environments, we've tested in manufacturing environments, and we tested in an airport, a new airport that was under construction. And what we have seen is MIMO is for in-building, it is definitely what it's advertised to be.
As additional capacity needs have come up, they've really embraced DAS because of the way it is completely flexible in their architecture. Larry alluded to 2G, 3G, 4G, all traveling on the same fiber, on the same RF interface, at the node location, and being transmitted on the same antenna. This is pretty impressive scalable growth that the carriers can add into their networks, basically from a central hub location once the existing DAS nodes are in place. The initial rollout's primarily coverage driven, but the added benefit that I don't know if anyone truly understood at the time was the massive capacity that was being put out there through a fiber-fed DAS network that is getting out closer and closer to the consumer. 80% of all data traffic's originating in a house or a building. I think you talked about that earlier. And getting that huge pipe out next to the customer with a radio interface, LTE and 3G, that is finally catching up to that backhaul capability, getting that closer to the consumer is truly an added benefit that a lot of the carriers are starting to embrace. And I think a lot of people in this room that are in this industry obviously know what's going on with some of the carriers and some of their organically grown DAS efforts. So the flexibility of that capacity that you can add seamlessly is certainly one of the driving factors. Decreasing price trends that we've seen. There's been a lot of aggressive entrance into the DAS market. I mean, Crown Castle's purchase of New Path Networks, my former company, is a pretty good example of the commitment of the major infrastructure providers, Crown Castle, American Tower, that DAS is a truly viable platform for the carriers, not just from a coverage standpoint, from a capacity standpoint as well.
Our customers are really taking a multifaceted approach to deploying all of these data systems, and we are trying to take it from all sides. So first and foremost, as you know, we're a tower company, so if you look at the tower space, that's always going to be the first choice for most of our customers to deploy. So what we're experiencing now, and to the credit of our customers, is anytime they're going for new co-locations or new deals, they're really demanding flexibility. They're demanding flexibility on the number of antennas, the number of lines. They're looking ahead, not only to 2x2 MIMO, but maybe 4x4 MIMO in the future and whatever else may come along. They want that flexibility to be able to change and adapt very quickly as this environment grows. They're also looking at flexibility as far as ground space goes. So, most of these deployments are going to be in these lower 700 bands to begin with, but they're really looking to the future, I guess, when maybe that 700 coverage isn't enough and they need the ground space perhaps to deploy remote radio heads instead of cell splitting because of the limited number of towers. They're looking for extra ground space to use as hubs for perhaps DAS deployments. So they're really focusing on flexibility as far as the tower space goes.